All right, peace, black family. So let me preface this video by saying I do not like using source material from non-African people, because usually they're only repeating the same thing that we've been saying since the dawn of time. And also because our people are so psychologically damaged, as soon as a non-African person says something that we've been saying for the longest time, they get all the praise and they get invited to the cookout. But because I could not find this video anywhere else, I'm going to use this. Play video.
Colonization didn't just take languages, it redrew the mental maps of entire peoples. Language isn't just how we speak, it's how we think, what we notice, what we name, what we even believe is possible. The Sapir-Whorf hypothesis says language shapes cognition. That means if your language centers relationships, you think in we. If it centers ownership, you think in mine. So when colonizers replaced indigenous languages with European ones, they didn't just erase vocabulary, they disrupted worldviews. Suddenly land becomes property, not kin. Time becomes linear, not cyclical. Spirit becomes superstition, and so on. And relationality becomes inferior thinking. Robin Wall Kimmerer writes about this beautifully in Braiding Sweetgrass. Potawatomi has 70% verbs because life is in motion. English, heavy on nouns, ownership, and control.
All right, so let me break this down using the Bible verse for all my Christians. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, meaning that the words that we use create our reality, or the words that we don't use also shape our reality. Let me give you another example. If you look at the Philippines is in Asia, right? And it's actually named after Philip II. How many of us are running around here calling ourselves Puerto Rican, which means rich port? How many of us are calling ourselves Cameroon, which just means shrimp? How many of us are running around here calling ourselves Haitians or Jamaicans or all these other terms that colonizers have placed on us and used to divide us? And then once we accept that colonization, we see the world through their eyes. Let me give you a more concrete example. How many people are running around right now calling themselves Aboriginal? And all that Aboriginal means is inhabiting or existing in a land from the earliest times or before the arrival of colonists, indigenous. So that means that you could have made it to the Americas a week before Christopher Columbus, and now you're indigenous. When you use those words to identify yourself, you are only furthering colonization. You are only furthering that mental colonization in your mind. Again, the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, also known as linguistic relativity, suggests that the structure of language influences the way speakers perceive and conceptualize the world. You're using European words to define your own reality. This is why it's important for every African to speak an African indigenous language. I'll give you one more thing before I get up out of here. There is no word in any African indigenous language for SA. For SA, that word doesn't exist. It only exists in European languages. When you say SA of a woman, you're saying it in a European language. So as John Henry Clarke has taught us, if the word doesn't exist in the culture, then that means the action doesn't exist as well, because the people aren't practicing it. You got to have a word for the action. Now, this video might go over a lot of people's head. Play it back and forth.